A small town where friendships often blurred the lines between loyalty and manipulation. Clara lived a life filled with warmth and creativity. Kind of person who found joy in art, spent her weekends sketching by the lake, and cherished each moment shared with her close-knit circle of friends. Among them was Megan, a charismatic figure whose laughter echoed brightly at every gathering. Countless memories together late-night talks about dreams, sharing secrets under starlit skies, and supporting one another through life's ups and downs. But beneath Megan's charming exterior lay a darker side that Clara struggled to see. With subtle jabs disguised as jokes, comments meant to undermine Clara's confidence while feigning support. "Oh, you really think that outfit looks good on you?" Megan would say with a playful smile that only partly masked her true intentions. First, Clara shrugged it off as harmless banter. After all, Megan had always been the life of their group. As time passed, however, Clara began to notice patterns emerging within their friendship. Megan thrived on drama. She seemed drawn to gossip like moths to a flame. Spread among their friends like wildfire. Whenever they were together, Megan would share snippets of others' lives with an alarming ease that made Clara uneasy. The closer they grew, the more Clara became aware of how quickly trust could dissolve into doubt. At a party filled with laughter and music, Clara felt a spark of courage amidst the festivities. He took advantage of the warm atmosphere to confide in Megan about an embarrassing secret from her past, a memory tucked away under layers of shame that had haunted her for years. Trembling hands but hopeful heart, she shared this piece of herself with someone she believed would understand. Yet instead of strengthening their bond as hoped, this act of vulnerability became fuel for something far more destructive than mere misunderstanding. Those moments when trust should have bloomed like spring flowers between them instead lay seeds sown for betrayal. Days turned into weeks after that night. Whispers lingered behind closed doors and sidelong glances began creeping into conversations amongst their friends. From gossip mill to gossip mill, the very secret intended to draw them closer twisted itself into a weapon aimed squarely at Clara's reputation. Feeling isolated amid swirling rumors spun from half-truths and manipulations, planted by Megan's deft hand left her heart heavy with sorrow and confusion over what had once felt solid now crumbling around her feet. Stood a steadfast friend who offered support during these dark days when shadows loomed large over friendships once cherished dearly, but now fractured by deceitful intent. He listened as Clara shared tales woven thickly with hurt and betrayal. "You deserve better than this," he said softly one evening while sipping tea in his cluttered living room, filled with bookshelves overflowing stories untold, yet waiting patiently for attention. His words wrapped around her heart like warm blankets on cold winter nights. Each day brought reminders that friendship can sometimes transform unexpectedly, but within those struggles lay silent questions echoing louder than footsteps upon empty hallways. How does one reclaim lost dignity? What becomes fair retribution against such vile treachery? In moments alone at night, when darkness draped its veil over thoughts churning endlessly within, the idea began forming like clouds gathering. Before storms break open, perhaps there was power hiding behind anonymity, a chance not just for revenge against someone who had caused so much pain but liberation from shackles binding truth underneath layers thickened by lies told repeatedly without care or concern for consequences left dancing behind shattered hearts throughout their social circle. The gathering, Clara's heart raced as she overheard Megan speaking in hushed tones with a few friends. A laughter echoed around her, but it felt muted and distant. To catch every word, and when she did, a chill swept through her. Megan was sharing Clara's most embarrassing secret, twisting it into a tale that painted her as pitiful. Clara felt the weight of betrayal settle like a stone in her stomach. How could someone she trusted so deeply do this? Her hands trembled as she clutched her drink, fighting back tears. In that moment, the warmth of camaraderie turned icy. Whispers filled the air like poison. Confrontation loomed over Clara as she made her way towards Megan, determined yet terrified. With every step, doubt clawed at her resolve. What if Megan turned it against her again? But the hurt surged forward, propelling her closer until she stood before her friend. Megan's expression shifted from surprise to feigned innocence as Clara confronted her about the conversation. "And take responsibility for the damage done." Megan deflected with grace a practiced art that left Clara feeling small and foolish. Trying to help, Megan insisted, spinning tales of misunderstanding while dismissing Clara's pain. Gaslighting became an unwelcome companion in their dialogue. Accusations swirled like leaves caught in a storm. Clara attempted to express how deeply betrayed she felt. Megan twisted each word into something unrecognizable, a smokescreen that masked her malicious intent. Afterwards, loneliness enveloped Clara like a shadow, as news of Megan's distortions began to spread through their social circle. Friends who once laughed and shared secrets now eyed Clara with suspicion and pity. Conversations ceased when she entered rooms, agonizing to witness friendships crumble under the weight of lies. Desperation one evening, sitting on the edge of her bed with tears staining her cheeks, Clara confided inly about the depths of despair gnawing at her spirit. A loyal friend listened patiently as she poured out feelings of isolation and betrayal nights spent tossing and turning over what had been lost. As cut through the darkness like a beacon of light, he offered not only comfort but ideas for reclaiming control over what had spiraled out of reach. "Deserve justice," he said softly but firmly. A spark ignited something deep within Clara. A fierce determination began to rise amidst heartbreak. Days turned into nights filled with restless thoughts. An idea took shape in Clara's mind, a plan forged from anguish but strengthened by newfound resolve. Their information about Megan's own past mistakes, the hidden fears and vulnerabilities waiting silently beneath layers of charm. With Ellie's help, they discreetly searched through social media profiles and mutual acquaintances, stories piecing together fragments that could serve as retaliation against everything that had unraveled due to Megan's treachery. A thought chilled Clara yet thrilled her simultaneously. Revenge brewed slowly like coffee on a cold morning, bitter yet invigorating, and together, they mapped out how best to unveil these secrets without tracing them back to herself. Would require precision, each post crafted anonymously with care, so there were no ties leading back home, to ensure their impact rippled throughout their social group, without exposing Clara directly or jeopardizing any alliances still. Standing firm beside her, whispers transformed from rumors into palpable tension among their friends' gatherings across town. Clarity emerged from chaos. Everyone began questioning what they believed about both women, the purity beneath friendship mudded by deception, now under scrutiny. Though nothing seemed certain anymore outside those soft-spoken words exchanged between Ellie and herself during sleepless nights, cloaked in shadows, they were stepping toward reclaiming agency long stolen away by someone who falsely wore kindness upon first glance while wielding malice behind closed doors. As Clara sat in her room, illuminated only by the soft glow of her desk lamp, plan began to take shape. With each passing day, the hurt that Megan had caused festered within her like an open wound. Words echoed in her mind, she deserved better than this betrayal. Time to reclaim her narrative and expose the true face of the friend she once trusted. Clara spent hours researching Megan's past, a treasure trove of insecurities and secrets she had carefully hidden from their social circle. There were stories of failed relationships, moments of vulnerability that painted a very different picture than the confident facade Megan portrayed to everyone else. A thought of using this information sent a thrill down Clara's spine. It felt almost exhilarating to think about how she could turn the tide. In strategizing, he knew the ins and outs of social media like the back of his hand. Together, they created anonymous accounts on platforms where their friends frequently interacted. Each post would be crafted with precision, ensuring that they remained untraceable but impactful enough to incite curiosity and stir unrest among their group. Days turned into weeks. Clara released Megan's secrets one by one, each revelation sending ripples through their social circle. Friends who once idolized Megan now found themselves questioning her loyalty and integrity. Spread like wildfire as people dissected every detail exposed anonymously. Friendships began unraveling at an alarming rate. The chaos reached its peak during one particular gathering, a party that had been planned for weeks with excitement buzzing in the air, before things took a dramatic turn. As friends mingled and laughter filled the room, whispers started circulating based on what had recently come to light online. Megan entered with an air of confidence, but quickly noticed something was off as eyes darted away from her when she approached small clusters of friends deep in conversation. Didn't take long before someone confronted her about what they had seen online, the tone unmistakably accusatory. "Is it true? Did you really?" Mutual friend asked hesitantly, unable to mask their disbelief anymore. Clara watched from afar as tension mounted around Megan. Walls built over years crumbled before Clara's eyes. The girl who had once thrived on drama now stood at its epicenter, her charisma failing her amidst harsh judgments unfolding right there in front of everyone. Then a jubilant celebration transformed into a scene charged with accusations and defenses, as friendships split along fault lines created by deceitful words exchanged behind closed doors months earlier. Those closest to Megan weighed loyalties against newfound revelations, while Clara felt empowerment coursing through her veins like electricity surging after a stormy night, finally gives way to dawn. In that moment, it became crystal clear. Each secret unleashed served as catharsis not just for herself, but also for those who felt manipulated under Megan's influence without realizing it until now. Alliances shifted dramatically before Clara's eyes. Those who once stood by Megan turned against her when faced with undeniable truths brought forth through anonymity cloaked in bravery, fueled by justice long overdue. Everything unfold ignited within Clara feelings, both bittersweet yet liberating, a sense that she had reclaimed control over not just her story, but also shed light upon others caught helplessly entwined within toxic webs spun out. Jealousy and betrayal by someone they believed they could trust. She stepped outside into cool evening air after witnessing this collapse unfold around them. All it wasn't merely revenge served cold. It was liberation birthed amid ashes left behind from smoldering connections decimated under weighty burdens carried far too long without recognition or accountability taken seriously enough until now. /n in that moment beneath starlit skies reflecting clarity above that spellbinding release, ushered forth new beginnings ripe for friendship built upon honesty, rather than manipulation guiding hearts toward healing paths ahead. /n and so began a chapter anew where genuine connections flourished amongst those willing to choose loyalty built upon truth instead standing stoically amidst remnant born upon tides shaped heavy-laden with lies exposed. And Clara braced every bit wholeheartedly resolute knowing brighter horizons awaited beyond shadows, cast previously darkening spirits wandering aimlessly seeking solace. /n, with the chaos unfolding around her, Clara watched as Megan's world began to unravel. A once vibrant social circle that had felt like a protective cocoon now buzzed with whispers and accusations. Friends who had once gathered for lighthearted celebrations were now warily eyeing one another, caught in the crossfire of betrayals laid bare. Egan, once the center of attention, found herself cornered at gatherings where laughter used to echo freely. Silence enveloped her like a heavy blanket every time she entered a room. Conversations halted mid-sentence, eyes darted away, or exchanged knowing glances filled with suspicion. Clara could see the stark realization dawning on Megan's face, the weight of her actions crashing down upon her like an unexpected storm. More secrets about Megan surfaced, some shared carelessly through anonymous posts, and others whispered among friends. The fallout became palpable. A very fabric of their social dynamic began to fray, friendships splintering under the strain of trust shattered into pieces. Mutual friends who had once been loyal witnesses to their friendship now felt lost. They struggled to reconcile the woman they thought they knew with the person revealed by those hidden truths. Those moments when Clara observed this transformation unfold before her eyes, an unexpected sense of empowerment washed over her. Sweet, she hadn't sought out destruction for its own sake, but rather yearned for justice, a way to reclaim what had been taken from her without warning. Every revelation about Megan felt like a chapter being rewritten in Clara's life story, one where she no longer played the role of victim, but instead took control of her narrative. Amidst this turmoil stood Ali, steadfast and supportive as always. He witnessed the crumbling facade around them. He offered words of encouragement that acted as fuel for Clara's newfound confidence. Evenings together discussing how important it was to surround themselves with genuine people, those who would lift each other up, rather than tear one another down. Lee said one day while sipping hot chocolate on his porch beneath twinkling fairy lights that shimmered softly against twilight's embrace. "Vive this together. Our friendship remains unshaken." Clara smiled, grateful for his presence through such turbulence, a reliable anchor amidst churning waters threatening to swallow them whole. And so it was during these quiet moments filled with camaraderie that Clara came to realize something profound. Honesty among true friends flourished while fake relationships burned out in flames ignited by jealousy and deceitful intentions. Eventually, whispers shifted towards reparative conversations, friends reaching out tentatively, after having witnessed Megan's own downfall blossom from seeds sown in betrayal. Apologies hung heavy in the air alongside clarifications about misunderstandings perpetuated by gossip, a slow rebuild beginning amidst wreckage left behind. As weeks passed, Clara found solace not just in reconnecting but also within herself. She embraced this journey toward healing wholeheartedly, while recognizing valuable lessons learned along the way about trust and vulnerability, woven intricately into human connections. An evening by the lake where she'd often sketched dreams onto paper long ago under starlit skies, the gentle sound of water lapping against shore brought peace, unlike anything else she'd experienced recently. Here lay promises waiting patiently beneath shadows, cast by moonlight, a canvas ready for new beginnings, painted vivid with hues brighter than betrayal had ever dimmed before. With thoughts drifting towards healthier friendships ahead sprinkled delicately throughout gentle breezes carrying scents familiar. Yet renewed hope blossomed anew inside Clara's heart like flowers awakening after winter's retreat, perhaps. Wouldn't be long until genuine connections flourished again, ones built firmly upon foundations crafted from mutual respect, rather than manipulation born from jealousy or deceitful intent lingering behind masks worn too long without. Hair, as she breathed deeply under that starry sky, reflecting warmth back at every turn amidst newfound clarity surrounding all possibilities ahead, Clara finally felt free, free from chains binding her spirit tied tightly around. Yielding doubts propelled forward by someone else's wicked whims. And so began her journey towards embracing everything life still held waiting beyond tomorrow's horizon.